Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 465. My name is Adam Patterson. With me today we've got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, hi.
This week on the show, we'll be taking a look at the psychological thriller Nanny, not to be confused with the Fran Drescher vehicle The Nanny.
Correct. Yes.
Although, it might be kind of funny to see how that would have played out.
As a horror?
Yes.
Reboot it as a horror. They're turning everything dark now, so fucking do it.
That's true. This week, there is that Grinch horror movie that's coming out.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, Nanny's going to be available on Amazon Prime December 16th, and it's playing in limited release right now. We'll also be going over some more we've been watching on the watch list and this week's new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please remember to review us on iTunes. If you get a moment, that'd be great. Let's go ahead and just hop on in to Nanny. This is written and directed by Nikyatu Jusu. I have a synopsis here. Immigrant nanny Aisha, piecing together a new life in New York City while caring for the child of an Upper East Side family, is forced to confront a concealed truth that threatens to shatter her precarious American dream. Kevin, we'll start it with you. What were your initial impressions of Nanny?
This is a tough one because there's I think, an issue with expectations. I don't know how you felt, but kind of having the horror title tagged onto it,
Yeah.
you know, there's a certain expectation that arises. And to let you know right off the bat, it does not play out like any traditional horror movie in any sense. To me, I almost felt there's like no horror elements.
I was just going to say, it doesn't play out like any non-traditional horror movie either, really. I mean, this is a Blumhouse film too, which is kind of interesting. The trailer pretty much shows all of the kind of horror moments, and even in the trailer, those are like very subdued. So this is a extremely, I mean, if you want to classify it as horror, it is like so light on that I don't even consider, I just consider it to be like a psychological drama.
Yeah, because it's horror in a sense of like a grounded, like, you know, real life.
Yeah, like a real, like the horrors of real life.
Yeah.
The fact
you can
that
take it that way, but if you're going into it expecting a traditional horror movie, and then not only that, like you said, you had the Blumhouse in the beginning, that kind of sets you with a certain expectation, right?
And the trailer too. Like, again, the trailer makes it out to be this kind of maybe like a little twisted psychological thriller that things gradually increase, like something's not right with this family that she's, you know, taking care of, the daughter and stuff. But the weird thing is, like, that whole thing, I mean, more than anything, this is a very awkward and sort of cringy movie.
Yeah, because there is something wrong with that family. There
is definitely something wrong with that family, but I don't know if it's so deeply wrong that it treads into horror territory. Like, it's just kind of like there's a lot of families that have that sort of broken dynamic to them.
Yeah,
and I understand that it, like, I guess at the end of the day, this movie's way more grounded than maybe what you would expect.
Yes, because it felt a lot like from the outset when I was settling into it, I'm like, oh, this kind of just feels like a retelling of the 1966 film Black Girl, where it was a Senegalese woman goes to France to be, you know, kind of like a nanny type deal, but they essentially just make her a servant and they just kind of like ruin her life. So it kind of felt exactly like that, but just small changes here and there, you know. Now, I like it as that. I think once I got over like the horror expectation, because there was a certain amount, you know, into it where I was just like, I don't think this is gonna be a horror film. Because I'm not feeling it. It doesn't feel like they're setting anything up.
Yeah.
And once I was able to just scrap that from my expectations, where I was like, no, this is just seems like this is just like a drama type deal here, like a more grounded drama. Then I was able to enjoy it.
I guess that's my big hang up with it, is that if they stripped away all of the horror, quote unquote horror elements, like the kind of hallucinatory elements and like the different things that she starts to see, and the fact that, like, psychologically she's starting to crack. If you strip all that away, then I think that you do have a pretty compelling drama here. Not like you said, like there's multiple movies that deal with the same kind of subject matter, where you have a caregiver who is, spending more time and taking care of someone else's child more than they can afford to do their own. And, so this is like a topic that I think will continue to resonate. I mean, this is something that is very pervasive. Not that not that I think that there's even necessarily like a problem with what's on display here.
Like we've seen this the last couple of years, and unfortunately, you'll probably continue to see it for decades to come. It's just like the immigrant experience of being exploited and kind of taken advantage of in little ways here and there, and some big ways too. Like the mom just like
not paying her.
Paying her
that's
for
like
all the hours.
That's like the big thing. Like, I think that if you like those things, and also like how she ended up having to like buy the food and all of that stuff, it is kind of all of those little subtle things. But of course, there's also bigger turmoil that's happening within that company. Or that family. That's not an excuse for the Michelle Moynihan's character to show that level of neglect, but
it's just all these compounding little indignities that you experience that just, and then especially with the husband too, where he's just kind of that off-putting,
little toxic,
just trying to be like
toxic masculinity
like,
in there,
being the good guy.
He's like,
but then of course it's just him trying to sleep.
Yeah. Like he fancies himself as a very, woke individual, when in fact he's just kind of a scumbag. He's clearly a scum. Like from the moment they introduce him, his name's Adam, actually, played by Morgan Spector. Giving Adams a bad name here.
Yeah.
I guess one of the problems that I had with this is that I feel like nothing was quite seen through to the end. Like, I felt like there were a lot of dangling questions and issues and things with the family, and then also like I guess no. Let me backtrack on that a little bit. I'm thinking about the ending now, and I guess really the only thing that I felt like wasn't quite resolved was just the family and what was going on there. There's kind of a shocking twist that happens. I don't know. I mean, they sort of foreshadow it.
Yeah.
Several times. So, and I don't think that it was supposed to be like a big shock when it is revealed. I think that Jusu does deliberately give us hints as to to prepare us for what's happening or what happens. But I don't know. I felt like the pacing just felt off to me.
When that comes, it just feels like it was so hurried.
Yeah, because everything
kind of had like one scene where it's just like, oh, this is the actual reality, and then moving on, which makes sense, and I get what she's trying to say there, but at the same time, it just, I don't know. There's a lot of parts to this that I like, because there's two other things that I really enjoyed that kind of set this apart from a lot of the other like immigrant horror stories of trying to capture the American dream or whatever. is they're usually like they're all terrible in a sense that like the outcome is always terrible.
Yeah.
Where this one is not terrible. Like yes, there's some tragedy there, but there's actually some good things that
it's
happen as well.
hopeful.
There's this,
yeah.
there's a hopefulness, there's a joyness to a joyfulness to it. So that was refreshing. I enjoyed that. And another aspect of this that was kind of surprising, and this I think it played into fucking up my expectations of a horror movie, is at a certain point this just like completely detours into like a romance. Just like like she starts dating someone and it's just like, oh, this is just like a rom-com now. And there was actually a part of me that was like, this is a pretty good rom-com. Like I would watch this. It's just that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if you removed the horror elements, I'd probably like this a lot more, because I feel like the horror elements get in the way of the drama and like her story, like Aisha's story. And like I get what they were going for with the horror elements, but I just didn't feel like it was necessary, really.
Yeah. The only thing that, and I will definitely extend this grace to this film, because I will fully admit there is like two aspects of folk tales being used in that between the. So there's some shortcomings on my part, so I don't know if like a better understanding of that, or like a deepening understanding of that would change my outlook on this film. I'm guessing it would.
Yeah, perhaps. Great performances across the board on this too. You have Anna Diop as the lead, Aisha, and I already mentioned Michelle Monaghan, Morgan Spector as the husband and wife family who hire her, and then you have Sinqua Walls as Malik, who is the love interest. He's like sort of the not doorman, but like
the front.
Yeah, like the front desk guy at the building where this family lives. And what a gorgeous apartment, by the way. Holy shit. And that lobby too, with that wall, that like kind of mossy living wall type thing. Definitely into the apartment.
I hated it.
You hated the apartment?
Hate that apartment.
Oh man, I liked it.
Not a fan of that. I'm a fan. I've become more like I'm a junk and knickknacks.
Okay.
And trinkets.
Got it. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I don't like the clean look anymore. I want shit to be everywhere. Little knickknacks all over the place.
You're more into the hoarding aspect of.
It's not necessarily hoarding. It's it's excessive curation. Let's say.
I like it. I like excessive curation. I like the idea of having like a library.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on Nanny?
I give it a light recommend, and this is enough. That a lot of elements that I like in this, like separately, as a whole, I don't think it worked for me as much as I was hoping it would. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of aspects of it that I enjoy, that I'm very interested to see what she does in the future. Because I think it's already been revealed that she's doing like what is it? The Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, she's rebooting Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. So interesting to see like a more straightforward horror movie.
Yeah, and she's got, I think she has some other horror movie that she's working on too.
Oh yeah, there's with Jordan Peele producing.
Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely. I hope that she leans more heavily into the genre, though. I guess that's my only. I mean, obviously she will certainly be doing that with Night of the Living Dead, but hopefully any of her future projects that are within the genre, I hope that she does push a little bit more into the horror.
Yeah,
because like I said, I mean this works good as a drama. I just
that's the thing that's tough, right? Because like how much of that is really her fault?
Right. Well, yeah.
Seems like it's more just like a marketing thing. You know what I mean?
It very well could be. Yeah, that very well could be. All right, let's go ahead and give it a score. I'm super light recommend on this. As long as you know going into it that this is not a horror movie and you view it from a drama perspective, I think that you will like it. So I'm going to give it a very light 6 out of 10.
Yeah. A 6.5.
There you have it. Again, this is going to be on Amazon Prime Video December 16th. So stay tuned for that. Let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching. I believe it is your turn this week, Kevin.
Oh, well, I'm keeping the old noir movies going. So I watched This Gun for Hire from 1942, directed by Frank Tuttle.
Ooh, little Tuttle action.
Little Tuttle action.
Okay, all right.
He's adapting a Graham Greene, right? And I usually enjoy Graham Greene. And this is, like, it's a pretty good story. But just, like, the actual, like, filmmaking, like, the visuals and stuff, it's just very, like, straightforward, very basic. I mean, there's, like, I think, like, one sequence with some fog that is really nice looking where the guy's, like, kind of held up in, like, the train yard. And the police are waiting for the fog to clear, and he's trying to get out while using the fog as cover. So that has a nice look to it, but the rest of the movie is just kind of in terms of visuals and stuff. Like, the story is pretty good. You have Alan Ladd plays he's a killer for hire. He's a hired gun. His name is Raven, and he takes people out. And he takes out this guy, and he gets like some chemical formulas. And here it turns out that it's this very elaborate thing that he's helping out some commies. You know, these guys are trying to betray our country. So you have that whole aspect to it too, which is just like, give me a goddamn break. But this has Veronica Lake as a magician that sings, and she kind of gets wrapped up in this because she gets hired by the guy that also hired Raven to kill someone. So she gets pulled in, but she's about to marry the police inspector who's, you know, doing the whole case. So man, everybody's jumbled up in this goddamn mess, and it's pretty good. It's all right. I mean, it didn't, but it also didn't disappoint me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I just feel like there's a lot better noirs out there than this.
Got it. Okay. And that was
This Gun for Hire.
Gun for Hire. I was like
Frank Tuttle.
Blanking on that. All right. I saw Quick Change from 1990. This is directed by Bill Murray. Stars Bill Murray.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
It's the only movie he directed, the only feature film he directed.
Wait, isn't this?
It's Bill Murray and Howard Franklin, the guy who did Larger Than Life, the movie with Bill Murray and the elephant.
Incredible.
So, Quick Change. This is a movie about a bank robber. So Bill Murray plays a bank robber who makes off with like $1 million, and this is in New York City. And he does so by dressing as a clown and carrying out this somewhat elaborate plan. And he gets away, and his two accomplices are played by Gina Davis and Randy Quaid. And they have this plan to get out of the city, but everything goes wrong. So the whole movie is just them trying to get out of New York City and not get caught by the police. So it almost plays out like what's it called? After Hours? I get like that kind of vibe where it's just like this kind of crazy night in New York type of thing where it's just like they just go from like one kind of strange set piece to the next and I liked it a lot. I thought it was really funny. I don't know why, like, I don't feel like this movie got a lot of love when it came out because I wasn't even very familiar with it at all, but I thought it was really funny. And
well, that's The interesting thing is, this is the first time I've ever heard of it. And
Yeah.
people are obsessed with Bill Murray. So the fact that the one movie that he like directed or co-directed, I don't know about, is weird to me. But also when I go on the Letterboxd, everyone that has seen it is like rave reviews.
Yeah.
So it's like, why?
I don't
Why
know.
don't I know about
I
this?
think that it must have like not done well when it came out originally, and I mean, hopefully now it'll have a little bit of a renaissance because it's really funny, and I liked it a lot. I mean, it's definitely because I mean, you still have that. It's 1990, but it kind of still feels like the 80s pretty much. So you have that kind of 80s New York grime in there too, but you have like Bill Murray in the middle of it, just reacting to all the crazy shit that happens in New York. It's great.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff in it, but it's still work. I mean, it's still funny. So the only unfortunate thing is Randy Quaid. Like his character is super annoying, and considering what Randy Quaid is like now, it's hard to see him in like a role like this and not think about how he's like this weirdo, like mountain man, super Trumper, anti-vax type person now.
Yeah.
But aside from that, if you can separate yourself from Randy Quaid and his character in this, Quick Change is definitely worth a look.
I need this so much. I need it. The only other was Saturday Night and Sunday Morning from 1960, directed by Carol Reese. This stars Albert Finney, a real young Albert Finney, very young. So this is I forget the actual term for it, but that like British like realism kitchen sink, drama, like they had that wave like in the 60s.
Yeah.
This is one of those, and Albert Finney plays he's like a 22-year-old factory worker, and then on the weekends, man, this guy he's doing it all. And by all, I mean drinking, smoking, and sleeping with girls. One of them, the main one, is married to one of his co-workers. And of course, that gets him into some trouble. It's Albert Finney, hanging out on the weekends, trying to have himself a good time. After a long week working in the factory, he's a lathe worker. Working on them lathes.
Lathe, all right.
Yeah, working a lathe. I'm not exactly sure what he was making, but he was making something on that lathe. And that was it. Like, it's a good movie, if you like that kind of thing, that blue collar, like down and dirty, just realism, that type of cinema. I think you'll enjoy this. Albert Finney's fucking fantastic in it, and it's especially great seeing him as like one of the early roles where he's a really young guy. Where you're like, so much of my life is just spent watching him as an old man in movies. But to see him as a youngin', it's pretty good. If that's your cup of tea, I definitely recommend it. And then it made me kind of miss factory work. Kind of miss working in the factory.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, factory. But as soon as I got in there and I worked like a couple hours, I'd be like, fuck this, I don't ever want to do this again.
yeah, I can imagine that.
It's just one of those things that's easy to romanticize when you're away from it.
Yeah.
Than when you're actually in it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that looks good. The last one that I saw was Blood Delirium. We had talked about this.
Hell yeah.
We talked about this last week.
Tell me everything, buddy.
This is directed by Sergio Bergonzelli. This is out now on Vinegar Syndrome. They released it this past week. Stars John Philip Law, who you may know as Diabolic from Danger Diabolic. Oh man, bonkers doesn't even begin to describe this movie. This movie is absolutely nuts. The level of exploitation in this movie is such that, I mean, I don't think I've seen an exploitation movie like this in quite a while, to the point where women are just taking off their tops for no reason. We have full frontal nudity for no reason. Like it's crazy. This is a crazy ass movie. So what you have here is this woman. She's a very famous. I don't know if she's very famous, but she works as a pianist. She is a very good piano player. She's quite popular. And then you have this guy played by John Philip Law, who is he's a famous artist, and he lives in a giant castle, and his muse is his wife, and his wife dies, but it turns out that his wife, her doppelganger, is this other woman who's the pianist. And after the woman goes to a gallery opening that he's at, or like an exhibit with his latest pieces, he like becomes obsessed with her. He invites her to his castle. She goes there, and all hell breaks loose because guess what? Like, she's there, she's playing the piano for him, she's trying to be his muse, and like there's something missing. There's just something missing. Well, it turns out that the caretaker of the property is a serial killer / rapist, and he murders a young woman, and the artist guy discovers that like it's her blood is what he needs. Like, that's the painting, or that's the paint, that's the color that he's looking for. Is so he becomes like obsessed with using this blood to complete his art, which, by the way, is absolutely atrocious. Like, it looks like a child. It's laughable how bad his art is, because when you see him painting it, it looks so goofy. It looks like a kindergartner doing finger painting. Everything is so over the top and goofy in this, because there's like a supernatural element to it as well, and nothing makes any sense at all. It's just sex and violence. They're just trying to throw it all in there. And yes, there is necrophilia in this, and there's cannibalism too. So
watch out.
Yeah, there's some gore. There's some gore to be had in here, but yeah, it is definitely over the top. I'd give it a light recommend. The thing is, like, there are some pretty grim like things in here that I think could easily have been removed, should have been removed, but it's all presented in such a goofball way that you can't really take it seriously. So it's not like it's disturbing or too grisly or anything. It's all done in such a campy, B-movie way.
Incredible.
So yeah, Blood Delirium. Check it out. One of the co-stars, Olenka Hardiman, she was a porn star. And
yeah, I was looking him up on Letterboxd, the director, and it looks like he did a lot of Italian softcore.
Oh yeah, I see that. Oh, in fact, it looks like he directed a bunch of movies with Olenka Hardiman. She was like she was famous for like kind of having a striking resemblance to Marilyn Monroe. So she was a French actress who did a lot of porn, apparently.
Gotcha.
And she plays the best friend Corinne in this. That's it. That's all I got.
I really appreciate you updating me on Blood Delirium, though.
Well, the thing is, we go over the Blu-rays every week, and there's always these ones that pop up where I'm like, I got to see that. I got to see. Like, they all sound so ridiculous, and I'll add them to my watch list, and then I don't watch them. So I'm aiming to rectify that.
And I'm glad you did. I appreciate it. That's what I truly do, because I was interested in this movie back when we talked about it on the last episode. I had already forgotten it until you said I watched Blood Delirium, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, that movie. Because I do the same thing. Yeah. I add all these movies to my watch list, and I completely forget about them.
Let's take a look at what we have in theaters this week. Nothing going on in theaters.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing. On VOD, though, we do have a number of things. Starting on December 5th, we have Mr. Creep. Mr. Creep, what is that? 3 college students stumble upon a lost television broadcast of a deceased serial killer and search for its location.
Mm-hmm.
On the 6th, we have John Waite, The Hard Way. A little rock doc coming at you.
Oh boy.
We have
this is updates like I used to.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen too many coming through. I feel like there's been a little bit of a break with the rock docs recently. We also have The Scottish Play. We got De-Influencer. That's a pretty bad-looking horror movie. On the 7th, we have Burning Patience. That's going to be on Netflix. We got The Marriage App. That's going to be on Netflix also.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the 8th, we have In Broad Daylight, the Navardi case. That's on Netflix as well. A little true crime doc there. And then on the 9th, we have It's a Wonderful Binge on Hulu. Ugh. Also on the 9th, we have Detective Night Redemption, starring Bruce Willis. We have Black Warrant. That's a Saban Films release, so expect some middle-of-the-road action there. We got Emancipation on Apple TV+. That's the one with Will Smith. And Antoine Fuqua one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Visually, that movie looks like it's going to be pretty good. We got Something from Tiffany's on Amazon Prime. We got Float. This looks I don't know. This might be fun. It's a horror movie about a bunch of friends who go tubing down a lazy river.
No. Tubing.
And a sinister paranormal force plunges them into a life and death struggle, forcing them to face their own fears.
Oh, God. That's the last thing you want to do when you're tubing.
Yeah, I know, man.
Because the whole idea of the tubing is relaxing.
Exactly. Have yourself some drinks, float down the river, just relax.
And it seems like this paranormal thing is going to do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a stressor for these kids. They don't need that.
No, they don't.
Also on December 9th, we have number 10. I guess it's number 10. I mean, it's NR.10. This is directed by Alex Van Warmerdam, Borgman of Borgman fame.
Oh, the Borgman guy.
Yeah, he's back. Strange memories from a man's past reveal a dark secret that threatens what he thinks he knows about his life and the world around him.
Oh, boy.
It's the 10th feature film from Alex Van Warmerdam.
To me, it's his second.
Yeah. I saw one other one, I think, from him. But, I can't even remember what it was anymore. But I know that I saw one other one. It was after Borgman. On Shudder, we have Christmas Bloody Christmas. And then on Netflix, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's the third Pinocchio movie to be dropping this year.
Unbelievable. What a comeback for Pinocchio.
Yeah. So, man, Pinocchio fans, 2022 is your year, boy.
Incredible.
I mean, this one looks good. I've said it before on the show, I don't really like the Pinocchio story, but this one I am going to check out just because the animation looks really good. And I saw a couple little blurbs about how everything was made by hand, and it looks like it's a very meticulously crafted movie, and I like stop motion a lot, so I'll be checking this one out.
Isn't there also a Pinocchio game?
It's not out yet, but it's coming out. It's it's a Souls-like.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty good.
It does. Liza P.
Yeah, Liza P.
2023. I was about to say, man, 2022 is just going fucking insane with Pinocchio.
I think maybe it was originally going to be coming out this year and it got pushed back or something, but Yeah,
I
that
wonder
game
if
looks pretty good.
I wonder if that's because I think it's just as a society we're like we have too many Pinocchio
It's
things. You
Pinocchio
can't wait till
overload.
2023. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A government somewhere stepped in.
Yeah, it's totally Pinocchio overload over here. Anyway, also on the 9th, we have I Am DB Cooper, which is a DB Cooper documentary. Not to be confused with DB Cooper, Where Are You?, which is another documentary that came out like a week ago on Netflix.
So what is it with Pinocchio and DB Cooper?
I don't know. DB Cooper, that one's kind of weird because the DB Cooper story's been told and retold a million times too.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, 2022, people were like interested in DB Cooper again.
We need more DB Cooper.
I guess. Well, this documentary, I Am DB Cooper, features a guy who claims to be DB Cooper. So
nice.
So this should be the final one because they cracked it wide open. The real DB Cooper, who's definitely not dead, is in this movie.
I wonder what he's to. I guess I gotta watch it to find out.
Yeah, you gotta watch it and find out. I mean, he got away with the money, and now he's just living life.
But I feel like someone should be knocking on his door, right?
You'd think so. I don't know if there's like some sort of statute of limitations there. Or...
He waited till the clock ran out. He's like, "Hey, I'm DB Cooper, by the way."
I mean, I could see DB Cooper doing something badass like that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's not a statute of limitation on stolen money.
I don't know. I guess maybe it depends state to state. I'm not sure how all that works. But all right, let's take a look at what we have on Blu-ray this week. It looks like Pulp Fiction is getting a new 4K release. Black Christmas is getting a new 4K release. That's the original 1974 one.
Hell yeah.
The classic.
Fucking incredible.
Dude, I think that might be a Christmas tradition for me. I watched it last year and I had a really good time. And I'm kind of feeling like I want to watch it again this year. It's just so good.
You're doing it. Yep.
Clerks 3 is coming out. I have yet to watch that, but I do plan on it. Mad God. That's the stop motion. Right when I get done talking about how much I love stop motion, Mad God comes out on Blu-ray.
You start to reevaluate.
Yeah, a movie that I thoroughly did not enjoy. But it wasn't for the animation. It was just everything else that I just wasn't into. Amsterdam coming out. Looks like another 48 hours, and then the original 48 hours are both getting 4K releases. Ip Man 3.
What?
Ip Man.
Just the third one?
Yeah, just the third one.
You know what that means, though? It's going to start kicking off every week for like the next 4 months. So you're going to be...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The Warriors is getting a new release. The original R.I.P.D. is coming out in 4K.
Why?
I don't know. John Cusack's Better Off Dead from 1985. Nightmare at Noon from 1988 is coming out on Arrow. What is this? You're going to have to keep an eye on this.
I'm going to say that sounds kind of promising.
Scientists poison the water supply of a small town, turning the residents into homicidal maniacs who kill each other and anybody who passes through.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Watch list.
That one is getting put on the list. Looks like Tommy Boy is getting a new release. The Leech from 2022. That's coming out on Arrow also. That's about it. What about Criterion's? Did I lose you? I can't hear you.
I think I did for like a second there.
Okay. What about Criterion's this week?
Oh, all we have is a box set. Perfect timing for the Christmas holidays, and that's a Haneke trilogy box set.
Bringing the joy. The joy, the laughter, the happiness.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't mean to be a hater, but no one wants this. Who the fuck wants this?
So it's the Seventh Continent, Benny's video, and 71 fragments of a chronology of chance.
Yeah, so it's like
it's not even the good ones.
First three. Yeah, it's like his first three. So it's Haneke before he's even, fully formed.
Yeah.
That's not even his final form. We don't want first phase Haneke.
Nah, where's the cachet or what's the pianist? Or is that it? Is it the pianist or the piano?
It's a good question.
It's one of the two.
And you know what? I went to a tab to look it up, and I typed out H, and I was just like, nah, I really don't care.
Nah. Really, I think Cachet was the only one that. I mean, I didn't even like that one very much, but to me, that was like the only one that was somewhat.
I kind of like, what was the Das Weiße Band?
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was like the sci-fi one, right?
I forget. I have no idea. I don't remember at all. But there's a part of it that's like I'm never gonna watch a Haneke movie again.
No,
I don't have to. I'm an adult. I can do what I want.
I'm probably not gonna watch him again either. The Piano Teacher is what I was thinking of.
Yes, there you go.
And Time of the Wolf is the sci-fi one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Time of the Wolf.
Not good, I don't think.
I don't even remember that. Honestly,
I don't remember any of them.
I mean, I remember Funny Games. I remember Funny Games. I remember The Piano Teacher. I do somewhat remember Amour.
Oh, yeah.
And Cachet for that one scene.
I'm realizing that I've seen too many Hanekes.
Well, we did that retrospective.
I know. And I regret that.
I remember that was like maybe one of the last. It was like the second retrospective we did, and it was like the last one.
We're just like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
We watched like almost all of his movies. It was almost his whole filmography.
And it was a depressing time,
Yeah, it was. That was rough. That was a rough couple of weeks that we did that. Anyway, so yeah, he's an acquired taste. I think I can understand why some people like his shit, and he did the White Ribbon too. Blech. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. If you have a moment, consider reviewing us on iTunes. That'd be great. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.